Good afternoon and welcome live inside Children's Mercy Park here in Kansas City, Kansas, where today we have a huge matchup and a great rivalry game. Swope Park Rangers hosting St. Louis FC with just 5 games left in the USL regular season. Hello and welcome live inside. I'm Dave Borchard alongside Doug McCloggin. And Doug, it's always exciting when you have 2 rivals facing off, but I think even more exciting in this case because this match has all sorts of playoff implications.
Yeah, massive implications. St. Louis has just got in the top 8 and they need to stay in touch with the rest of the crew. And Swope Park Rangers need some separation so they can get a few points ahead of the top crew.
Kind of a surprising lineup for St. Louis. We'll hit on that here in a few minutes. A lot of the regulars not in the starting lineup, so I think a lot of the responsibility today will fall to Juan Fall. He's a guy that's really led the way on offense, and I think he'll be an even bigger key today.
Yeah, no Kyle Gregg, who scored 12 goals, so I'm assuming Juan Fall's the guy they're going to look at. He scored 5 goals and 2 assists. He's got Lewis Hilton alongside him, who's got 6 assists, so maybe he'll be setting up Fall today. That's got to be what they're looking for.
Swope Park Rangers are red hot. They've won 4 straight, and a lot of that has been because of this guy right here, Haji Berry. He is 1 shy of a USL record. He has scored in 5 straight matches, and he could tie the record today of 6 that's held by Dane Kelly. He's just been red hot.
He's been incredible, and the greatest thing about him, it's crunch time now, it's playoff time, and those players that score when it matters are awesome players, and he is going to have to get another awesome performance today and maybe a 6th goal for his 6th start.
It's a warm day, about 90 degrees, heat index around 95, but should be a fun one to watch. Cross-state rivalries, Swope Park Rangers and St. Louis FC. We'll be back with your starting lineups next. Welcome back live inside Children's Mercy Park. Kickoff just about 2 minutes away. Thanks so much for tuning in. You are watching USL Soccer here on ESPN+, and today a big cross-state rivalry. Swope Park Rangers hosting St. Louis FC. You can see the teams getting ready to get underway here. The pregame photos going on. St. Louis FC today, led by Coach Anthony Poulis in his first season. He had also led up Orlando City B the previous 2 seasons, so a guy with some coaching experience in USL, trying to guide his team to their first playoff berth in franchise history this season. On the other side, Swope Park Rangers led by Sporting KC legend Paulo Nagamura at the helm. Nagamura, of course, a championship winner here in Kansas City, and you see kind of a goofball photo there from the Rangers. That's become part of their MO, as well as with Sporting KC. You see Nagamura there in the background. Fiery competitor, and he'll be leading his squad into battle today with kickoff just a few moments away. I mentioned earlier, it's hot today. 90 degrees here at Children's Mercy Park. Bright sunshine, kind of glaring down on the field. Heat index around 95 degrees. So we expect to have some water breaks in this match, probably around the 30-minute mark. But should be a fun one to watch as these teams just scrapping and fighting for their playoff lives. Swope Park Rangers have only defeated St. Louis once in 7 tries, Doug. Is there anything you can put your finger on there? It's a little surprising because we talk about it's a rivalry. It's certainly a rivalry in the stands. It's a rivalry in terms of distance. They're only 250 miles apart, but normally a rivalry, you need 2 teams having epic games, but really St. Louis has been the better team early in this rivalry.
Yeah, it surprised me when you look at the history of Swope Park Rangers going to the playoffs quite often and St. Louis not. You would think it would be a little bit more even than that, but it is a crosstown rivalry, so you just never know on the day. You can throw records aside, and anybody can win on the day, and it seems like most of the time it's been St. Louis lately.
See Kyrie Shelton over the ball. He is on loan from Sporting KC, trying to work his way back to 90 minutes fitness, along with Haji Berry and Carlton Belmar up front. This is a very strong front 3 today for the Swope Park Rangers. Referee Rosendo Mendoza blows his whistle, and we are underway. Thanks so much for tuning in today here on ESPN+. I mentioned it will be a lot of the rivalry vibe in the stands. We see a lot of green and white out there today mixed in with the Rangers orange and blue. So the last time these 2 teams played here at Children's Mercy Park, it ended up being a very exciting game that the Rangers led almost the whole way, and St. Louis tied up very late in the match. See how it plays out today, but definitely lots of action going on in the stands with 2 rabid fan bases. Maybe a chance here early for the visitors. Into the box, right at Eric Dick, who makes the save. Found himself in the right position as St. Louis FC and Michael Cox had a 1v1 against the goalie, but unable to place that where he would have liked.
Yeah, he just didn't get enough power on it, and it went straight to the keeper, so a pretty easy save for him.
Now a chance on the other end for the Rangers. Haji Berry has scored in 5 straight. Can he make it 6 here in the early going? Plays it back to Hernandez. Hernandez now switching the point of attack to Rebellion. Normally starts at forward, but he has played here in the back before. Poor pass there, though. Sends the ball the other way. So St. Louis, Doug, their lineup today, and obviously this is a must-win game for them. With 5 games left in the season, they're only 1 point safe of that 8th and final playoff spot. But they have a lot of their regulars on the bench tonight, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do with kind of this makeshift lineup. Yeah, it's kind of shocking, and there must be a reason for it. I assume the coach has a good reason for it, but you're right. I mean, they're right on number 8 spot to be in the playoffs, but the team behind them has a game in hand. So, well, actually, the team behind them has 2 games in hand, and the team above them has 1 game in hand. So if they don't pick up points today, it's going to be really a tough battle for them to get back into that top 8. So kind of a funny lineup, but like I said, coach has got to have a reason for that, and maybe we'll find that out soon. Yeah, the big guy not playing for them is a guy who played a lot of soccer in Kansas City, Kyle Gregg. Normally starts up top, 12 goals on the season as well as 2 assists, so very surprising not to see him in the lineup tonight. He's really the guy that has made that offense go this year for St. Louis. Yeah, he has been the man, and the next best scorer is a midfielder, and that's who kind of we're looking today with Wall 4. The guys playing up front right now do not have a lot of goals or assists to their name, so quite shocking there. Another thing we talk a lot about with the Rangers is they often get players on loan from Sporting KC, and how will they incorporate into the team? Yeah, that really helps. Take a look at the standings real quick, and there you can see St. Louis FC in that last spot right now. And again, the top 8 make the playoffs. They have 43 points. But Reno is only 1 point back, and they have 2 games in hand. So when you look at it, you could almost say, you know, St. Louis is in right now, but they're not really in with Reno sitting there 1 point back and 2 games in hand. Yeah, and if I look at Reno's schedule, that they're playing like the 13th, 14th, 15th, and 17th team in the next 4 games. So you've got to be thinking they're going to be picking up points there. And then the team above St. Louis is San Antonio. And with their game in hand, they have Tulsa, which, if you look at the records, would say they'd probably pick up 3 there. So St. Louis is going to have their work cut out. I was talking a minute ago, we always wonder how these players on loan from Sporting KC will kind of gel and mix in with the Rangers regulars. But it's sort of the same storyline today for St. Louis. This is a lot of guys that aren't necessarily used to playing with each other. and they have a pretty good start to this game. They've looked good here through the first 4 minutes or so, but I'm interested to see how they can gel, having a lot of guys that are really not familiar with playing with each other.
Yeah, it does take a bit of time, but it looks like they're doing very well right now. Looks like they're playing a very high-pressured line on the back four of Swope Park Rangers. And right now it's working because Swope has not been able to get out of the half, not with control anyway.
Kyrie Shelton just sprinting at the goalkeeper, Tomas Gomez there, able to win possession back with his hustle up top. And again, when you look at the Rangers front three, you have Kyrie Shelton, a guy who started a lot of games in MLS this year. Carlton Belmar, who's a loanee as well from Sporting KC, who has 9 goals on the season. And then Haji Berry, who has 13 goals and has scored in 5 straight games. This is a very good front three, and I, for one, would be stunned if the home side doesn't get at least 1 goal here today.
Yeah, this has been the most prolific front three all year, absolutely.
Belmar with a cross, looking for Shelton, just misses the head, but a nice ball in from Carlton Belmar, who's been bouncing back and forth this year between Swope Park Rangers and Sporting KC. He's actually been out for a few weeks now, kind of dinged up, but working his way back to full health, as is Kyrie Shelton, who gets the start today in that center forward spot.
Yeah, the funny thing is, early in the season, we were talking about Carlton Belmar every game, and then he had that slight injury and he disappeared. And since then, Haji Berry has just lit it up. So if you've got those two on fire today and add Kyrie Shelton to it, like I said, the most prolific front three they've had all year.
Long ball over the top, but a bit too hard, and rolls easily to the keeper, Eric Dick. And you know, Swope Park Rangers, I think if you're asking for maybe a general thought about this team, most people would say exciting offense, maybe a little bit questionable on defense, but they actually have back-to-back shutouts as well. So they're getting to that time of the year that's really crunch time, and not only is the offense still clicking and has been all year, but maybe the defense is starting to round into form as well for the Rangers.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they need. I mean, it's crunch time, and you're right. You know, we got a little argy-bargy going on here.
Little head-to-head stare down here in the first 6 minutes of the match. See if the referee has to keep control of this. Certainly a rivalry game, as we've mentioned. And Akhmetov, the newcomer here to the Rangers, not backing off. The much taller player for St. Louis FC. Not sure why the referee's talking to Akhmetov. He wasn't the one that started this, but you can see here, physical play in the midfield. St. Louis player gets frustrated, 2-hand shove. And then Akhmetov's like, what's wrong, man? What happened? He didn't shove him back.
Ooh, but that's what you got to watch there, that little head towards Akhmetov. And referee, I guess, said, it's okay, we'll just get on. We won't bring out the cards or anything.
I'd say this will be the last time something like that happens before we see a card, though, assuming we continue with some physical play, and any further pushing and shoving, I think, would have to get a card at that point. Good play there by Parker Marr. Looked like the ball might get through behind him. Instead, he's able to save a possible scoring opportunity. Good call there as Haji Berry, trying to spin around the defender, was held, and it'll be a free kick for the home side.
St. Louis definitely coming out with intensity here. We've seen a couple balls played forward, and there's hands in the back, shirt pulling. You're going to see a lot of that today. It is a rivalry. We talked about that. But St. Louis, even though they don't have possibly the strongest lineup out, they still need to win the game. The players know that, and there's a lot at stake today. You can see it in the first 5 minutes here.
We mentioned St. Louis having a lot of their regulars out. The only real big name missing for the home side is Colton Storm. Pretty much starts every game at right back. Is in the 18 today, but is not in the starting lineup. Instead, Brian Rebellion gets the start at right back. Normally when he plays for Swope Park Rangers, he plays up top. So we'll see how he fares, although he has spent some time in that right back spot for the team.
Yeah, he started off the season playing right back, left back, centre back, and then all of a sudden he's playing right forward. And actually the last game I remember we did, he was extremely good when he came off the bench to play right forward. But now he's been moved back to that right back position.
Michael Cox with a good look. Nice ball behind the defense. Goalkeeper retreating. Eric Dick able to make the save, but that shot wasn't going to find the net anyway. It was mishit and was rolling wide anyway, but Eric Dick backpedaling, able to scoop it up.
Yeah, it was a good diagonal blindside run by Corey Herzog, but no, he got nothing on that. Maybe he was trying to chip him and just completely whiffed it. But a great run in behind the backs, hard to pick up by the back two there, and just poor effort on the chance there.
Obviously, we do expect water breaks, as I mentioned earlier, Doug. They normally do that when it's over 90 degrees and probably around the 30th minute or so. But otherwise, what kind of impact, if any, do you think we'll see from this hot weather today?
Well, we're seeing it's a pretty intense game right now. There's just no way they can keep this up for 90 minutes in this heat. So we're going to see some lulls in the game where the intensity drops. Maybe some teams might, like St. Louis are playing high press right now. Maybe sometimes they might drop off and save a little bit of energy and then step it up a little bit later. So there'll be some drops and some lulls in the game, I'm sure, because there's no way they can keep it this pace for 90 minutes.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. You can also receive free shipping on orders over $50. Pretty good job there by the goalkeeper, Eric Dick. Nice and calm with the St. Louis player right in his face and able to chip it very accurately to his teammate on the far sideline. Young goalkeeper for Swope Park Rangers seems to have a bright future ahead of him, and excited to see what he'll do tonight after Adrian Zendejas had back-to-back shutouts the last couple games in goal for the Rangers.
Yeah, they're not short on goalkeepers, I can tell you that all the goalkeepers this year have been very, very good for Swope Park Rangers. So it's just his nod tonight. He gets to go, and maybe Zendejas gets the next game, but it's great when you've got top-quality goalkeepers that you can just slot in and out, and they're just brilliant. They've been brilliant all season.
Well, it's a good problem to have, like you said, and there's a lot of teams that would just like to have one really good goalkeeper, and the Rangers seem to have an excess at that position. 10 minutes gone here at Children's Mercy Park. No score. I'm Dave Borchard alongside Doug McCloggin. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're watching USL Soccer here on ESPN+. Nice ball forward, but the offside flag goes up.
And we've seen probably 3 or 4 of those big diagonal balls in behind, or attempts to get in behind Parker Marr. So maybe that's something they've spotted that they're looking for today, because, like I said, we've seen it 3 or 4 times already.
Parker Marr has been rock solid this year for Swope Park Rangers, but is returning to the starting lineup after a couple games in the 18, but not in the starting lineup. But when he's played this year, he's been real solid for them.
Oh, he's been very good, yeah. Very good indeed. But like I say, Swope Park's got a good roster where they can rotate players.
Poor pass by Belmar. Fortunate that wasn't picked off by Corey Herzog. Could have been a possible breakaway opportunity, but Herzog certainly wasn't expecting the ball to come right by him like that.
I don't think anybody was expecting that ball, so he just dodged the bullet, did Carlton Belmar, that's for sure. And he held his hand up going, oops, sorry, my bad.
And nice job by Kuzain, barely keeping possession. Now Shelton to Haji Berry. Gets it back. Shelton looking for a shot at the edge of the box. Loses possession, though. Nice moves by the Sporting KC loanee, but unable to get a shot off in the end. Now maybe a chance here for St. Louis FC. 2v2 if they can hurry. Now 2v3, now 2v4. Defense getting back. A nice play there by the rookie Graham Smith.
Yeah, that is, like he's just said, tremendous team defense there, because the numbers in the blue got back and the numbers in the white did not get forward. And so in the end, it was like 2 against 6 or 7, and that's just tremendous defended.
Shelton himself, bad numbers there, was going 1v3 trying to get into the box. Take another look at the defensive play just a moment ago. You see it looked like Michael Cox might have a chance, but ends up slowing down. Then the recovery gets back, and Graham Smith wins back possession. Lots of space here in the midfield for St. Louis. Now again, like you said, Doug, looking to exploit maybe Parker Marr there on the far sideline. Marr backpedaling, trying to keep it away from the right foot there, and able to do so. Nice defense. And again, this budding rivalry, just 7 games thus far in the series, but Swope Park Rangers just with 1 win out of 7, and surprising since they've been the Western Conference champions back-to-back years. Nice job by Belmar there, hustling back to save a potential scoring opportunity. But Swope Park Rangers only 1 win in those 7 games, 1, 2, and 4 thus far in this rivalry against St. Louis FC. So the newer team and the team that obviously hasn't had as much success making the postseason have done pretty well in this series.
Yeah, the worrying factor is that 1 win did not come this year.
That's true. Now, granted, we look at the lineup today, and I think you and I both think the Rangers have a great chance to get a win against a St. Louis lineup that's a little bit surprising. But the way they've played so far in the series, I wouldn't put anything past them.
Well, the way they played in the first 10 minutes, too, or 13 minutes, I wouldn't put it past them either, because they've really been the dominant team. They played high press. They're not giving any time on Swope Park Rangers. And quite honestly, they spent most of the time in Swope Park's final third. So, yeah, you don't know what the lineups may not look as even, but the game's being played very well by St. Louis right now.
We saw in the standings moments ago, it's a huge game with the Rangers currently sitting in 6th place, St. Louis FC in 8th place. Only 4 games left for each team after today. The Rangers have 2 at home and 2 on the road. The good news for St. Louis FC, if they can get even a draw today, they do have 3 of their last 4 at home. So any sort of result today would still be some good momentum for them as they get to have 3 of their last 4 games at home to close out the season.
Yeah, I think points for either team today. If they both walked, I mean, Swope would want 3 points, but if they got 1, it would keep the picture as it is right now, and St. Louis would be happy because they'd pick up points. But coming up soon, they both have to play San Antonio, and I think it's next week. One might be Wednesday, one might be Saturday, and that, again, is a massive game for both teams.
Talk about a nice string of home games, too. The Rangers right now, this is their 4th game in a 5-game homestand, and they have won the first 3. That's the thing that has really put them into a great playoff position right now. But if they could win today, and they, it's a lot to ask to say we're going to win all 5 games of your 5-game homestand, but they're only 2 wins away from doing that right now. And like you said, it's another big game against San Antonio right there with them in the playoff race. And San Antonio comes in here to Children's Mercy Park on Wednesday. Nice move there by Rebellion. I think he is onside there. It's Haji Berry. Carlton Belmar right beside him. Now playing it for Belmar, but the defense there, and smart choice there just to let the ball roll over the end line.
Yeah, good defending there by Sam Fink. He knew he wasn't going to get to it. He just put a little fake and let it run off the field. But nice little play there, but very close to being offside there. And he must have been just about level to break away there.
We mentioned Rebellion lots of times. He'll get the start up top for this squad, but starting it right back today. And we'll see how he does defensively, but having a guy that normally plays up top, you like that option going forward, as we saw there, maybe able to create some offense from that right back spot. Goal kick kind of bouncing through the midfield there. Surprised it ended up getting all the way to the center back, Gidic. St. Louis pressed for a second, now backing off. Pass intended for Kyrie Shelton, off target. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. You can follow @USL on Twitter. Like you said, Doug, this may be one of those lulls we see with the extreme heat we have today. I think neither team's going to be able to pull off a lot of heavy pressing like we saw St. Louis do the first 10 minutes or so. Parker Marr gets dribbled around, but again, doesn't look like much here for St. Louis. Shot right at Eric Dick. That was, again, Herzog for St. Louis.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad effort. You knew what he was doing. He was trying to bend it into that left post as the goalkeeper stands, but again, didn't hit it clean.
He's had one with his left foot and this time with his right foot. Neither one struck all that well. Herzog does have 3 goals and 2 assists on the season, though. Lots of space for Akhmatov. Got to do a bit of a face-to-face stare down a few minutes ago, but haven't really seen anything bad blood-wise since that moment.
It's early days, Dave. Early days.
Plenty of time for that, huh?
Yeah.
You don't think we're done with the pushing and shoving?
No, it's playoff time. There's more of that coming. I guarantee you.
Lots of space for Akhmatov here. Looking on the back post for Barry, but it's cut out by the defender. Now just cleared out of danger.
Stay there, hold. Hold, steady, wall.
Again, Rangers now just patient, content with possession, making St. Louis do all the running on defense. The Rangers content just passing it around here.
And St. Louis quite happy just to sit in there in the 4-4-2 formation by the looks of it right now, and quite happy to let Swope just knock it around.
Cross a moment ago intended for Haji Berry, but chested away nicely by the St. Louis defense. And again, Haji Berry has scored in 5 straight games, one shy of tying the all-time USL record. Rebellion shot across, or ball sent across, I should say, cut out easily by the St. Louis defense. Now, can they move quickly the other direction? Herzog plays it forward. No one there, though, not even anyone close for St. Louis FC. Now Kuzain on loan from the first team, Sporting KC. And the red-hot Haji Berry, no shortage of confidence for him right now. He draws 2 St. Louis defenders. Offside flag is up. Possession will go back to the visitors from St. Louis.
There's no excuse for that. He's got the whole line in front of him. You can see the whole line, and just a little bit too keen to get going for that ball. And like I said, no excuse for him to be offside there. He'll be disappointed by that.
Free kick coming up here for Tomas Gomez, St. Louis goalkeeper. We have 20 minutes gone by here at Children's Mercy Park. Here are the fans, got the chants going here. It's going to be dueling chants today, I'm sure, which is always fun when the fans are trying to one-up each other. We know how good that Kansas City-St. Louis sports rivalry is. Of course, primarily has been Royals and Cardinals over the years, with the Royals being victorious in the 1985 World Series. But this is another great addition to that, and long term, I think a lot of Sporting KC fans. Ball over the top. Cox goes down, but it was just a stumble, no foul there.
Not a bad ball over the top. Yeah, Cox just unfortunately couldn't bring it down. He's a little off balance. I think it was Didic that was defending, had a hand on him a little bit, so tough one to bring down.
Mentioned wall fall in the pregame show. Had a nice ball there. On the other end now, Belmar into the box, sending it across for Berry. Right-footed shot, and he has it. 6 games in a row with a goal for Haji Berry, and the Rangers have a 1-0 lead.
You just can't stop him. You cannot stop him. 6 on a row. That was a tremendous finish.
Haji Berry has tied the USL record previously held by Dane Kelly with a goal in 6 consecutive games. Look at that, just one touch and buries it easily in the corner. He is red hot right now.
Yeah, his first touch set up his second one. He just swung it quick, and he got that shot off so quick. The keeper probably didn't even know it was coming, and just in the corner. And like I said, the keeper moved a little slow because he wasn't sure it was coming. Then all of a sudden, bang, it's past him before he could move.
And the Rangers really hadn't had any dangerous moments the first 20 minutes of the match. And right there, Belmar, one touch by Berry, and he makes it look easy at the end of the day. And the home side here has the 1-0 lead.
That's a great thing when you have a forward like him. He only needs one chance. One chance and they're up. And we kind of, the last game, it ended up in a tie. We were in this situation where Swope went up 1, and then St. Louis tied it maybe in the last 5 minutes. What Swope wants to do now is get that second one in and get a little bit of breathing space here and not sit back and let St. Louis come at him. There's that other ball behind the back fullback. The referee's waved the linesman off. The linesman put the flag up.
Interesting play there as the offside flag did go up, and then the center referee said no, like you said. You don't see that very often.
Well, the only thing I can give you is the referee was very close to the play, so he decided that he was close enough to be in line that maybe she wasn't in the best position there. But you don't normally see that.
Obviously, the first goal is huge in soccer, and Swope Park Rangers 5-0-2 this year when scoring first here at home. So a very big stat for them. They've been great when getting the first goal, especially at home. Again, undefeated, 5-0-2. when they score first at home this season.
Yeah, just a little warning, though. One of those twos was St. Louis. So
it's true.
You just got to watch it because they've done very well so far, and they will not quit. And that's why you want to try and get that little breathing space with that second goal.
Saw the physical play there by Carlton Belmar. Foul is called. Now St. Louis needs to answer. What can they do here to get some momentum back within that 5 or 10 minutes after the goal? That's always an important time period. St. Louis has had the ball since the goal, but can they do anything to threaten Eric Dick and the Swope Park Rangers defense? Parker Marr has been a busy man here in the first half, able to clear it out there.
Well, it's fair to say St. Louis's game plan must be, can we get the ball in behind the fullbacks, especially the left fullback for some reason, because it's gone that side 7 or 8 times, and that's where they've kind of had their joy today when they've had it. So Parker Marr better be on his toes because it looks like it's coming all day.
Long range shot, deflects off Graham Smith, and now cleared out by the Rangers. Fans, you can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page. Check them out online at facebook.com/USL Soccer. "1-0 the score. Haji Berry scored just moments ago. For the Swope Park Rangers, he has now scored in 6 straight games, tying the all-time USL record. Talk about red hot, and it's impossible to be any more hot than what we've seen from Haji Berry here in his last 6 games.
Well, he's tied the record. I got a feeling the next game he's going to break that record.
Be a quick turnaround. Rangers back at home Wednesday against San Antonio FC, another team they're battling with in the Western Conference playoff standings. That one will be an evening game, though, so probably be a little bit more moderate temperatures. As we're around 90 degrees here today, heat index around 95. Probably going to be a water break here coming up in the next 5 minutes or so. Nice job there by Akhmetov, cutting out what could have been a dangerous pass. And Akhmetov has yet to show up in the stat sheet for Swope Park Rangers. He's been here a little over a month. But even though he still doesn't have a goal or an assist, I think he's been off to a good start here. And now the Rangers with tons of space. Does Berry have his second? No, it's right at the keeper. And an easy save by Tomas Gomez. But no, I feel like Akhmetov's done a pretty good job integrating into this team, and saw a nice play from him just a moment ago.
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic. You know what? Some people judge him on stats. Stats aren't everything. He's in there working his tail off, and he gives those players around him the opportunity for the freedom to play, especially those 3 boys up front. So you need people in your lineup that are going to work their tails off. He's not flashy, but he gets the job done, and I think he's had a great start for him. He's been a fantastic addition in that midfield to let Hussein and Hernandez play. And there he is breaking up plays. Don't get stats for that, do you? But look at this, setting up the offense again. He
gets it right back, and what a nice pass there to Shelton. But Shelton way off his line, a long-range shot, and somehow Gomez able to keep it in and make the save. Shelton thought he had Gomez far enough off his line to make a crack a goal, and he hit it pretty well. But Gomez able to hustle back and make the stop.
Yeah, it was an interesting effort, you know, and he only just made the stop. He was scuffling back there as quick as he could to get his hands on it, so he almost caught him out there. And great vision today. The ball came up. He's got 2 men on his back, and he still had the time to take a little glance over his shoulder to see where the keeper was. That shows you his class there. Unfortunately, the finish was just a little off. And here comes that big diagonal to the right to run at Marr again.
Left-footed shot sails well wide of goal, and I think part of the reason Parker Marr, you could tell the way he's defending, trying to prevent the ball from falling onto the right foot of Austin Martz, trying to take away the right foot. That time Martz cut in with his left, but obviously wasn't the end result he was looking for.
Yeah, if you look when he struck that, the foot was like, the planted foot was a good 3 yards away from the ball, so he was stretching, leaning. He was never going to hit it clean. It was always going to go wide. But that's, again, like you said, Parker Marr, some good defending there. He brought him inside to where he had a little bit of help, and also to his foot that he's not as strong on. So good defending by Parker Marr.
Well, that's the only thing that's really worked so far in this game for St. Louis, because the few times they've just tried to lob it up the center of the field, it's always being headed out by Smith or Jedich for the Swope Park Rangers. So it seems like that long ball forward isn't going to be a good option. But coming up that far sideline seems to be working pretty well, at least here in the early going.
Yeah, and it seems to be all the right side. It's not like they're doing the same play over the right back. Rebellion's not had to defend that ball yet. So I don't know whether they've just picked Ma and said, let's go attack him, or whether it's just because they've always been facing that way, so that's the way the ball's gone, because we've not seen it behind the right fullback yet.
Going to be a pretty dangerous spot on the field for a free kick for the visitors from St. Louis FC. We'll see what kind of service they can get on this one. Eric Dick trying to organize the defense in front of him. Not really a realistic chance to shoot on goal from here, but definitely a chance to put the ball into the box, into a dangerous spot, and we'll see if St. Louis FC can get on the receiving end.
And Wolf Hall scored 5 goals. I wonder how many of them may have come from set pieces. So I got a feeling he might be a man that's very dangerous. Keep an eye on him. He's number 17. Like I said, he scored a lot of goals for a midfielder, and he's more like a defensive midfielder, so this could be something he's really strong at.
Looks to be a left-footed in-swinger into the box, but not great service. Doesn't get over the front line of the defense. That's headed out by Carlton Belmar.
Yeah, no opportunity there because he didn't clear the first line of defense. Poor ball.
Ball headed into the box. Here's Cox. Defender on his back. Cox strikes it. Calls for a handball. No call is given. It ends up being cleared out by Jedich. Now the foul is given there in the midfield. Take another look at that as the ball fell, fortunately, to Michael Cox. It was blocked with the knee. The hand was very close to the knee, but a correct no call there by the referee.
Yeah, and even if it did hit him on the hand was across the body, so there's no way he was intentionally blocking that. But just a little warning there for Swope. It was a quick turn there by the forward, and good defending, but just got to be careful of that inside the box.
Here's Rebellion on the near side, back to the captain Amir Jedich. And St. Louis, who was pressing early, not doing that right now. Maybe that heat settling in a little bit.
There's, like I said, 45 minutes. I don't think you can play that intensity for 45 minutes non-stop. So they've probably gone first 15, go put some pressure on them. Then after that, let's sit back and conserve a little energy, and maybe we'll go at them in the last few minutes of the half again.
Really the same strategy from the Rangers. The Rangers not high pressing at all. Perfectly content with this 1-goal lead to let St. Louis just pass it around their back line.
Yeah, I agree. They've been completely opposite. They're letting St. Louis get the ball at the back and letting them play with it, and they're quite fine with that.
You can stay up to date with all of the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday evening on the USL social media channels. And as we expected, water break coming here for the next couple minutes. Swope Park Rangers have that 1-goal lead. Haji Berry, you see him there, the goal scorer. Now scored in 6 straight games, tying the all-time USL record. And Doug, how's this first half hour gone? Is this sort of what you were expecting?
Well, I didn't expect St. Louis to come out and go after them straight away, but so that's been a little different. I thought they might sit back and defend and maybe try and catch them on the breakaway, but other than that, it's been a pretty competitive first few minutes.
Take a look at the goal as Carlton Belmar back from injury. Nice pass across, one touch by Barry, and Tomas Gomez didn't have much of a chance the way Barry placed that ball.
Yeah, and I don't think it was a great strike by any means by Barry, but he got the strike off so quick that the feet of the goalkeeper were probably still moving. Therefore, it's hard to dive when your feet are moving, and it snuck into that far post. So just a quick touch and finish, and there goes his 6th goal in his 6th start. That's amazing.
Doug, you're obviously a former player yourself. Have you ever had any stretches like that where you just felt like every game you stepped on the field, you thought you were going to score, or you were like in a zone like we've seen Haji Berry the last few games?
I would love to tell you that, but no. I would like to think that I had more assists than goals, but no. You meet some people that can just score goals, and this is one of them. And I've played with some players that would not do much in a game, but all of a sudden they've scored 3 goals, and goal scorers are sometimes just born, and Haji Berry might be one of those because he gets those opportunities. He just pokes them away.
We talked about what a great front 3 today for the Swope Park Rangers with Carlton Belmar, who was, like you said, he was the talk of this team the first 2 months and was their leading goal scorer for a long time with 9 goals and 4 assists. He's just coming back to the squad after being dinged up. But Haji Berry now with goals in 6 straight games. Now he's the leading goal scorer, now 14 on the season after that goal today. And then Kyrie Shelton, who's on loan from Sporting KC. This is 3 guys who are all, right around that MLS caliber player. Haji Berry hasn't gotten his shot yet, but Belmar has, Shelton has. He started a lot of games early this season for Sporting KC. And not just are they MLS caliber players, this is a big, physical, fast, strong front line. All 3 of them kind of a nightmare for defenders.
Yeah, they're very aggressive. They're very dynamic. You know what? I'd like to give props to Tyler Blackwood, too. He's not here, and he was just starting to score goals, too. So, there's 4 players that are in the mix for the playoffs coming up real soon. So they're in a very, very good position offensively.
Well, if you talked about being an assist guy a minute ago, if you're a guy like Felipe Hernandez or Akhmatov, I think you just have to drool seeing all the offensive options sitting in front of you. And here's Barry again, looking for the brace, playing it back to Shelton just a bit behind him. Now left for Belmar. Belmar to his left foot, but the shot is blocked. Boy, I thought that was going to be 2 there for the Rangers.
Yeah, it was like a little game of keep away inside the 18-yard box. But good defending by St. Louis, would not allow a clean shot.
It seemed like that was destined to happen. I thought Barry would get a shot. Then I thought that Shelton would get a shot. Instead, it falls to Belmar. He passed up his initial shot, dribbled into his left foot, but that final attempt was blocked. Like Herzog went down a little easily there, but the foul is given.
Yeah, you were talking about those midfielders. If I was one of those 3, I would just give the ball to the 3 forwards and say, go do your stuff. And hopefully I get an assist from it.
The build-up a moment ago. Barry with a little bit of space. Thought he might shoot. Instead plays to Shelton just a bit behind him. And Belmar to his left foot, but shot is cut out by the defense. Just a moment ago. Was that a foul, Doug?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just a shove in the back.
St. Louis now with the chance. Sent across. Absolutely no one there on the receiving end, though. It's been the story for St. Louis early on. Couple shots. Both of them kind of missed hit right at the goalkeeper, Eric Dick, and every other potential goal-scoring chance has been a cross that's cut out by a Kansas City center back.
Yep, absolutely. And just going back to that chance for Swope Park Rangers in the box, if you look, the first pass was slightly behind, and then the next pass was slightly short. So if those passes would have been on, we could be looking at 2-0 now. But unfortunately, a pass behind the forward and a pass that didn't quite reach the forward gave St. Louis time to close down and not allow them to get shots off.
Rangers, of course, not going to be content with this 1-0 lead, especially knowing what St. Louis did to them earlier this year, that punch in the gut at the end of the game that cost them the full 3 points and ended up being a dramatic draw. When Eric Dick needs to be careful here, he gave it away, and St. Louis has stolen a goal. Major mistake by the rookie goalkeeper. Tried to dribble it around near his own goal. Ends up giving it away, and St. Louis makes him pay.
Oh, dear. I'll have to see that again, but he won't be happy with that. But, yeah, let's go to the other side. Let's give credit for St. Louis because they have pressed high against the back 4. They pressed here, put the keeper under pressure, and unfortunately, he made a slow... He hesitated right there, and then as soon as Corey Herzog saw him hesitate, he's like, I'm going, and forced him into a bad area. Look, slight hesitation, forward goes at him, and now just a small little error, and he will not be happy with himself there. But again, like I said, you got to give St. Louis a little credit there because they have pressed high. They saw the opportunity. Herzog saw the poor touch. He saw the hesitation and said, I'm going to go here. And he went, caused another error, and it just came out for a tap-in. And I believe that was Cox that just rolled it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it was. He made it look easy. And, of course, it was. Once it got past the keeper, it was easy because there was an open goal there as Dick was way out of goal. Unforced error there, like you said.
So you go for an opportunity where it could have been 2-0 with those little opportunities in the box for Swope. And they didn't take care of business. And then one little mistake, and this game's back on. It's tied at 1-1.
Now, how will the home side respond? Certainly the visiting fans are back into this match. Fired up after that goal there. Equalizes in the 37th minute. Fans, you can get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch. Check it out online at uslsoccer.com. I don't know about you, Doug. I'd be pretty surprised if this game finishes at 1-1.
Yeah.
Both teams are really going to be pushing for the full 3 points.
Yeah, they'll both want 3, but at the end of the day, if they both walk away with, especially St. Louis, if you can walk away with a point here, they'll want 3, don't get me wrong, but they won't be unhappy to at least walk away with a point, because this game's like almost worth 6 points. Because if you win, you gain 3, and you also gain a 6-point gap between the two teams, and so they both get 1. It keeps them where they're at, which is still in the hunt. So I don't know. We'll see. We will see how it goes. But very disappointing for Swope Park Rangers right now, because they had what I felt was a fairly comfortable lead, and one little mistake, one good pressure work by St. Louis, and this game is back on.
No, I completely agree. This seemed like they kind of had this game in hand. They were controlling it. There was no threat whatsoever. And then just one mistake, and that makes a difference. And then you can see the St. Louis fans, like I said, back into this one for sure. I think they had gotten a little bit quiet following that Haji Berry goal, but now very excited. Their team has equalized late in the first half, and a bad foul there. See if a card is given as Rebellion down and clutching his leg. Surprised we didn't see a card there.
Well, I think he's still going to talk to him. We may see a card come out, may not. He lost the ball. I mean, fair then, he just yanked him, and that could be very dangerous on his left knee.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep. There is the card.
Yep.
Showing to Michael Cox, who just scored a few minutes ago to equalize. Yeah, you hate seeing a guy get his leg bent under him like that. And fortunate, it looks like Rebellion is going to be fine and able to continue, but that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely could. But and Cox took the card. Yeah, he knows what he did.
Again, one more look at this as Rebellion working around, and look at that back leg just kind of scissored there underneath him.
Fortunately, his body fell forward and it didn't fall to the side where your knee could twist, else he could have torn some ligaments in there. But he's walking away and he's playing right now, so everything's going to be okay.
Belmar dribbling into the defense now for the home side. Big collision. He loses possession.
Yeah, he didn't have anywhere to go there. Good defending.
On a play like we saw a minute ago, Doug, would you even consider that a potential red card offense, or do you think yellow was the right call there?
Yellow was the right call. You know, I mean, he knew he was fouling, but he was fighting for the ball. He'd lost the ball. He was fighting hard to get it back. And, you know, sometimes you push and you shove. It's definitely not a red. Absolutely not a red.
Lots of space here for Kuzain. A little bit quiet here in the first half. Shelton surveying his options. 1v2, able to keep possession. Now Rebellion, tons of space on the near sideline. Back to the middle for Belmar. What can the Rangers do here with St. Louis set up defensively? Kuzain now to the near side to Akhmatov. Again, Rebellion with some space, able to get a cross off towards the back post. Barry is there, but can't get his head on it.
It's a beautiful ball in by Rebellion there, because it was in between the back line and the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper thought about coming to get it, but it was swinging out, so it would not have been an easy one for him to take. So
Hernandez long-range shot goes just wide of goal from the edge of the box. Ambitious idea there, not really too close, but he struck it pretty well.
Oh, no, outside his foot. Yeah, he didn't actually strike it very well. He caught the out, so you can see it spinning away. It looked a lot closer than it was from up here, but yeah, he just didn't get a clean strike. But the right idea to cut inside and hit. You know, we got a couple minutes left in the half. Take a shot on goal, why not? Just didn't get it on target.
How well do you know the USL? You can test your knowledge in USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition every week. You have the chance to win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. think if I won that, Doug, I'd go for the Swope Park Rangers San Antonio FC game Wednesday night to try to see Haji Berry break the USL record. And I agree with you. I think the way he's playing, great chance we may see him get a goal in 7 straight games, which would be a new standalone record.
Absolutely got to feel that they're going to be watching him too, though. They're going to make it really difficult because, I mean, obviously they know he's on fire and he's the man they've got to watch. What might happen then if they watch him so close? People like Shelton and Belmar might take advantage of that. So even if he doesn't break that record, he's now going to take a lot of attention on himself, which is going to open up for others on the field.
Nice there by Akhmatov. Just keeping possession, but now has some space. Back to Kuzain. Now Hernandez. Tamar on the far sideline. Probably only going to be a few minutes added on here to the end of the first half, and we're approaching the start of stoppage time here shortly. Will either side have a scoring chance before the intermission?
It looks like Swope's knocking it around. It's like basketball, waiting for that last shot. Because there'll be a couple minutes added for that water break, so keep possession, trying to probe, trying to find a gap, stretch St. Louis and see if there's one more pass they can penetrate, maybe get in behind and get that ball in the box.
Two players in the vicinity for the Rangers. It's Belmar is going to take this one now to Rebellion. Nice pass to Kuzain. That's a good ball, but cut out by the defense. That was a nice idea.
Yeah, you could see he just couldn't get it through. Well read by the man on the ball right now.
Nice tackle there by Graham Smith as it looked like a breakaway chance for St. Louis. And now maybe a chance for the visitors as they work 3v4. Ball sent across, and a good cross, but it's cut out by Gidic. It'll be a corner kick for St. Louis FC. A really nice service there, but good recovery defense by the home side.
It's funny because the boy knocking that ball in, Martz, was the one who broke down the play right at the top of the box at the other end. So, and you can see him struggling because he just ran about 90 yards and a great ball in there, but good defending by Gidic.
Yeah, 90-yard run in 90 degrees doesn't sound like the best, most fun thing you could do.
You wouldn't find me doing it on a day like this, I can tell you that.
You can see there we have an official 4 minutes minimum of stoppage time tacked on here to the end of the first half, and about 2 minutes of that courtesy of the water break. Corner kick for St. Louis FC into a dangerous spot, and you can see Eric Dick able to claim that right on his goal line, having to hold it out to keep the ball from going across. Pretty nice catch there with lots of traffic around the goalie.
Well-handed, and you know what? He needed that after his little blunder for the goal. I bet you that's going to help him big time with his confidence because he held on to that very well, and he caught it just above the attacker's head in a lot of traffic, so that'll be good for his confidence there.
Nice ball from Haji Berry to Carlton Belmar. Now into the area. Belmar sends it to Berry. His shot is saved. Nearly had a second. Again, got off his shot quickly. That was a first-time shot, but the goalkeeper, Tomas Gomez, found himself in the right spot.
Yeah, good work by Belmar. He brought in the two defenders, lays it off for Barry, and he, like you say, took a great quick shot, but unfortunately couldn't get it into the corner there, and the keeper had enough time to see it coming this time.
Rebellion's touch lets him down, then he gets taken out. Quickly back up to his feet. Referee says no foul.
Yeah, he's
now Rebellion is going to get a yellow card as he has a two-hand shove. Maybe he thought the ref wouldn't see that behind the play.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit bitter about that tackle. That was a fantastic tackle by Herzog. And Rebellion said, yeah, you can pass the ball, and then I'm going to hammer you. And so, yeah, definite yellow there. He knows it.
Take another look here as we saw the hard challenge a minute ago, and then after the ball is given away, kind of an elbow to the throat.
Yeah, he's a little lucky because if that elbow's a little higher, that could be a red card. Fortunately, it was towards his face, but I don't think it was high enough, and it was not dangerous enough to be red. But just a simple obstruction foul there. But in a very, very dangerous position with probably seconds left on this clock.
Well, yeah, speaking of danger, for sure, St. Louis FC with a chance to score here, no doubt about it. And I'd be surprised if they don't take a shot on goal from here. Certainly you could chip it in and look for a header to get the go-ahead goal, but from here, right outside the area, I'd be pretty surprised if they don't take a shot. Wall fall, you see him over the ball, number 17. He's one of the guys that we highlighted in the pregame show. Also, Lewis Hilton, number 8, is a right-footed option there. Looks to be like Hilton will take this one for the visitors.
There's a couple options, Vel. He can whip that ball across the face of the goal with the in-swinger, and if it gets touched, it could go anywhere, or he could be bending it over the wall for an actual shot on goal. I got a feeling he's going to whip this in real hard.
He goes to the near post, and it's off the post. Now headed in for a goal. St. Louis, we knew it was going to be a dangerous moment, and they converted. The first shot clanks off the woodwork, and then the follow-up header puts the visitors ahead in stoppage time.
Well, that was a stunning free kick. The free kick probably deserved to go in itself. Hit the corner of the crossbar and the side post, and then it followed up by, I believe, is that Walls, I believe, got the goal with a simple header. But look at, he whipped it in fast, and that's just a brilliant free kick. And an easy follow-up, and it seemed like St. Louis had a few more players in there following for the rebound than Swope Park Rangers, so it was an easy headed goal there.
Tony Walls gets the goal, the go-ahead goal for the visitors, and it's right before the halftime whistle. So the Rebellion foul right at the edge of the area comes back to bite Swope Park Rangers. Now they're going to need a comeback here in the second half. Stunning way for the first half to end as the momentum is completely switched here at Children's Mercy Park, and that will take us to halftime. This is what rivalry games are all about, Doug. You need drama on the field, and there's certainly been no shortage of that here in the first 45.
Yeah, it's going to make for an interesting second half, and now you look at that foul on the edge of the box, yeah, which is kind of a silly foul, and now it leads to that go-ahead goal. And like I said, it's going to be interesting second half to see how they come out and how they adjust. Are St. Louis going to sit back and defend now? Because I know they do very well when they sit back and defend. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Swope Park has struggled in this rivalry against St. Louis FC, and after a great start, they find themselves behind 2-1 at the half. All right, we will step aside. We'll come back with the halftime show and lots to recap in a very exciting first half. Haji Berry scored for the 6th straight game for Swope Park Rangers, but St. Louis back-to-back goals has them ahead 2-1 at the half. We'll be back with the halftime show coming up next. You are watching USL Soccer here on ESPN+. Halftime here at Children's Mercy Park. The visitors from St. Louis FC lead 2-1 over the Swope Park Rangers here in this rivalry game. And one of the guys that spent some time this year with the Swope Park Rangers, as well as with MLS side Sporting KC, is the youngster Jalen Lindsay. And we'll kick off our halftime show getting to know him a little bit better.
I think the first time I tried cooking myself was probably when I was back home when I was probably 14 before I left for Kansas City. My mom was cooking one day for dinner for us. I was like, no, let's change up a bit. Maybe I should try to cook dinner type for the family. I mean, I didn't do it all by myself, but she helped me out through the whole process. If I have friends coming over or anything like that, I don't usually do it because I get kind of nervous that I might mess up the meal and they won't let me cook again or trust me. So usually most of the time I like to keep it close within my family. I think my true interest in cooking came about recently before I graduated high school this past May. I took a culinary class. We were making interesting things and I wanted to expand my horizon to make something even better. So I think that's where my true interest came from.
Interesting stuff there by Jalen Lindsay as he's getting his professional career started and maybe a future career as a chef someday. Here at halftime at St. Louis FC 2, Swope Park Rangers 1. Haji Berry got an early goal, but St. Louis FC with 2 unanswered has them ahead at the break. All right, we will step aside for a minute, but we will be back soon with the highlights and standings and lots of fun stuff coming up. Again, it's St. Louis FC 2, Swope Park Rangers 1 at the half.
How's it going, everyone? USL's Kelsey Steele here with FC Cincinnati defender Forrest Lasso. So we're well aware of what Forrest can do on the pitch. So today we're going to see what he's got on the court. We've got a game of horse going with a few questions in between. So Forrest, you want to get to it?
Let's do it.
Go.
Oh, let's go. Oh, pressure's on. Let's do it.
We got an H, people. So you're rally guy. Favorite part about North Carolina?
Ooh. Sweet Tea barbecue.
MJ or LeBron?
Oh, that's the Pele Messi question.
There's only one right answer.
I mean, I'm definitely biased, so I'm MJ. We'll go with Bank this time.
Oh, okay, all right. Ah!
Oh, we got a letter.
Okay, sweet spot then on the court.
Top of the key. Why
Top
not?
of the key, okay. Oh!
Yes.
Whose play would you mirror the most?
Little size difference with Dwayne Wade. He was the reason I started watching NBA.
Get out of here. What, only 5'6", 5'7" at 16, and now you're pushing 6'7" at 25. What is that like for you?
So being the small guy, I was like the run of the litter growing up. I was always the smallest guy on every team, and then once it started to grow, I would like to say I was more technically sound when I was younger and smaller. And as I kind of grew, I kept the technical part of my game, and then I also realized that I have the physical side. When it comes to the game, it's definitely been a blessing. So it's a special tool or trait that not everybody has, obviously.
Killing me.
Needed that.
Being pulled in from that Cincinnati community, what do they do bring to you guys?
Oh, man. I've been playing this game since, 3 years old. Everybody likes the game. Not everybody loves the game, and when you go to Cincinnati, you can tell that there's 40,000 people that love it.
You're roommates with Jimmy. Tell me you've got a good story or two living with him over these last few months.
We've probably seen it on a few goal celebrations, but he's got absolutely no rhythm. He's probably going to hate that I told the world this, but he's when it comes to dancing, this guy's pretty fun to watch.
Not short. Ah! Give it to the champ.
That was fun.
That'll do it for us today, Forrest. Thanks for coming along and bearing the heat with us. For now, that'll do it from Tampa.
All right, good stuff there from Kelsey Steele. Right now, let's take a look around the USL. And Tim Hankinson named the head coach of D3 Chattanooga. Big news going on around the league. Also, the Richmond Kickers announced as the 8th team to join USL D3. And that's a name that's familiar, I think, to a lot of MLS fans. They always seem to make an impact in the Open Cup competition. And Brendan Burke of the Bethlehem Steel named USL Coach of the Month for August. Just a few of the many great headlines going on around the USL. Take a look at the standings. And again, this kind of plays out why today's match is so important. Swope Park Rangers 46 in 6th place, St. Louis FC in 8th place with 43 points. And the 9th place team is just 1 point back of St. Louis FC. That's Reno. And they have 2 games in hand. So St. Louis FC in a precarious situation. The Rangers in a little bit better spot. But if the scoreline holds today, St. Louis FC will pull even with the Rangers with just 4 games left in the season. Now taking a look at the upcoming schedule for the Rangers. Their 5-game homestand concludes with a big game against San Antonio. We just saw them right there in the standings as well. That's coming up Wednesday night, so a quick turnaround for the Rangers. Then at Tulsa, it's a road game, but Tulsa's the worst team in the league, so that's one that is a winnable game for the Swope Park Rangers. That's on September 22nd, and then at Sacramento, a tough game on Wednesday, October 3rd. All right, let's take a timeout. We will come back and take a look at the first half stats and highlights. 2-1 St. Louis at the break. You're watching USL Soccer here on ESPN+. Second half about to get underway here at Children's Mercy Park, and the visitors from St. Louis FC. Bit of a surprising 2-1 lead here as they found themselves down early. After about 20 minutes, they were down 1-0, courtesy of a Haji Berry goal, but they get 2 unanswered to end the first half. And that's leading us to our score right now, 2-1, St. Louis FC over Swope Park Rangers. Let's see how we got there with your first half highlights. Really fast highlights there. Haji Berry. You can see there, we were really going quick. I don't know if I can keep up with this, Doug. I think this is the goal, Doug. Look at it's played across. Haji Berry at the finish.
He got his shot off quick, but even quicker on that one.
That was awesome. That was awesome. You could see it was a frantic pace here in the first half, despite the heat.
I told you could do that for 90 minutes.
Let's try it again. All right, this is a little bit better. Michael Cox had the first chance, or in the early going, but right at the goalkeeper, Eric Dick, who made the good positional save. And then again, don't know if that was a chip or a shot, but Eric Dick, again, making it look easy there on the stop. Another chance for St. Louis, again, right at the keeper. It looked like there was really no danger most of the first half for St. Louis FC. And then Swope Park Rangers would break the scoring in the 21st minute.
Yeah, quick touch, quick strike. Brilliant.
Making it look easy. Carlton Belmar back in the starting 11. He gets the assist on that one, and Haji Berry ties the USL record with a goal in 6 straight games. And here was one of the biggest plays in the match. Looked like a simple pass back. Eric Dick, though, hesitates, gives it away, and it ends up being a tap in there for Michael Cox in the equalizer. And then right before the half, in stoppage time, free kick off the post, follow-up header by Tony Wall, finds the back of the net, and that's the difference at halftime. A little bit dancing as well. Let's take a look at the stats here, Doug. And the visitors, despite fielding kind of a makeshift lineup today, find themselves in a great position looking there at the stat sheet.
Yeah, they had more shots, but of those 9 shots, there's 3 or 4 shots that were not great shots, and they never really troubled the goalkeeper. So the more dangerous shots, I think, came from Swope Park Rangers. But the possession is a little bit more for Swope. It was a pretty even first half. I think good pressure from St. Louis brought the first goal. Mistake by the goalkeeper, and then the second one was a silly foul on the edge of the box and just an absolutely beautiful free kick. But you got to give credit to St. Louis again. When that ball hit the crossbar, St. Louis players were ready to pounce, and the Swope Park Rangers were ready to just watch and stare, and that's where Walls got to it first, and an easy tap-in goal with his head.
So what do you think the coaches said to their players in the locker room at halftime, or what do you think about any second-half adjustments we may see out there?
Well, St. Louis is, got that goal ahead, and they've always defended very well throughout the season. So it would not surprise me if they back off a little bit and sit back in that low block and maybe take a little bit of pressure from Swope and maybe try on the counterattack. But they did so well with the pressure in the first half. Maybe they could come out there for the first 15 minutes and put some pressure on again. So it'd be interesting to see what he told them. With Swope, they're going to have to move the ball around. They're going to have to move it quick, and they're going to have to break down that St. Louis defense from side to side, get penetrating passes, and put the ball in the back of the net. They'll want 3 points today.
Well, I think it goes without saying, Swope cannot have any more errors on the defensive end. I mean, really, you look at the first half, and the first goal is a defensive miscue by the goalkeeper, Eric Dick. And the second one, maybe just a frustration foul by the right back, Brian Rebellion. And without that, it's not a free kick that leads to the go-ahead goal. So Swope Park's going to get back into this and try to get a result. They also need to button it up on the back line as well.
Yeah, and our 3 forwards have done well today, but we need more from them. Okay, this is the time. It's playoff time. It's crunch time. This is where we need those 3 to get into action and put some balls in the back of the net here.
See how long Carlton Belmar and Kyrie Shelton can go in this one. Both of them are working their ways back from injury. For Kyrie Shelton, he won about an hour here in the game last weekend. It was his first game back in a couple months. For Carlton Belmar, he hasn't played for a few weeks as well. So be interested to see if either one of those guys can go the full 90. Certainly Haji Berry is in great form, and we'd expect him to go all the way for the Rangers there on the front line. Should be an exciting 45 here in the second half, and we are underway here at Children's Mercy Park. Home side really going to be pressing here, trying to get that equalizing goal. I'll be curious to see how St. Louis FC comes out. Now their first lead of the match. Will they bunker in and just play for the counterattack, or will they remain aggressive on defense like we saw early in the game?
Well, they want to be careful of it. They don't want to sit back immediately, because 45 minutes of just sitting back, and if they get broken down early, game's back on. So you might find them playing a little high press early on, and then maybe 15 minutes into the half backing off and then sitting a little bit low. But they don't want to sit off and give Swope an early advantage in the first 10-15 minutes, because that's when Swope could get back into this game immediately.
Here's Hernandez for the Rangers to Shelton on the near sideline. Shelton 1v1, dribbling towards the edge of the box, leaves it for Hernandez. Thought about a shot, but his touch let him down. Lots of space here for Herzog. Now to Cox. No numbers at all, though, for St. Louis. The 2 versus 6 there. Giannis just taps it over the sideline. Again, if you're just tuning in, you missed an exciting first half. Haji Berry with the goal in the 21st minute. 6 straight games with the goal for Haji Berry. Ties the all-time USL record, previously held by Dane Kelly. But St. Louis FC answered with the equalizer in the 37th minute and gets the go-ahead goal in first half stoppage time, and that's the difference in this match. Herzog unable to control it on the edge of the box. Not sure if that was intentional, but it rolls through to Shelton. Could have been a chance for the Rangers. Instead, now they build up from the midfield. Here's Belmar dribbling into the center of the park. Back to Parker Marr. Looking for Haji Berry on the near sideline. Belmar cutting back but loses possession. Now St. Louis has the chance to work the other way. Here's Wall fall, goes down. Foul is given, and a yellow card is shown to Carlton Belmar.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a yellow, but you know, it's a silly foul because it was really 2 going against 7, and he couldn't find the forward, so he should have just stayed on his feet and gone work with him. But I'm not sure that's a yellow. It's just a nudge in the back, but I guess he's closer than me, so he gets to make that call.
Tell you what, I wouldn't want Carlton Belmar nudging me in the back. That is a big, strong guy, and maybe it was a persistent infringement thing. I mean, he had a couple fouls like that in the first half, so maybe it was just an accumulation. But I agree with you, that specific play didn't look like anything too atrocious. Now, Herzog on the edge of the box, playing it back.
And again, like you said earlier, it could be the same as Rebellion's. It was a frustration pushing the back, and that's maybe what got the yellow.
Chip towards the back post, but a bit too hard. Possession will go back to the home side, deep in their own defensive third. Again, you see 2 yellow cards thus far in this match for St. Louis, just 1 for the Swope Park Rangers. Shelton unable to control against 3 defenders.
That's a great tackle there by Hilton.
Long range shot. Chipped high though.
Hilton doesn't make that tackle, and Swope Park could have been going the other way really quick. A fantastic sliding tackle, and then they get the shot off. Here's an opportunity now for Swope to attack with numbers.
A nice job by Akhmatov keeping possession. Now it is a 3-man break against 4 defenders. Back to the middle to Shelton. Good touch out wide. Here's Belmar. Belmar in the box. Takes a shot and a big save by the defender. Not much of an angle there for Carlton Belmar. Gomez put himself in good position to make the save.
Yeah, good play, but I think Barry wanted it pulled across the face of the goal. He felt like he was in a better position to finish. But nice run at the defender. I like that. Got to the outside, which is we haven't seen enough of. And I don't know if he could have got it to Berry, but if you pulled it across the face, maybe it hits Berry or hits the defender and goes in. But,
just not much of an angle to shoot with, I would say that much. If he could have crossed it, maybe Berry gets on the receiving end. Gidic heads it towards goal. Do we have a handball? Call's going up from the Rangers. No call is given. Love to see that again. Now ball sent back in. Gidic going at the goalie. Big collision. Gomez goes down, and the foul is given. It's a big collision there in the box. Looks like Gomez will be all right.
I think he's fine. Just taking a little rest, running a little clock off there.
But no, and it was a good shot by Belmar. He just had no angle. And if he could have crossed it, if it could have got to Berry, it looked like he was standing there right on the goal line.
Yeah, and if he's scoring there, then that's just poor goalkeeping, because at this level, you shouldn't be beat at front post. So, you know, you whip it across that face of the goal. And like I said, it could have hit Tony Walls and gone in. It could have hit Berry and gone in. So maybe not the right decision there, but hopefully he'll get another opportunity. And that opportunity came because he got round the back of the defense. And we've not seen enough of that today from Swope Park Rangers. Here's an opportunity.
Oh, look at that touch.
That's exactly what you want. Now, here's opportunities. Can we make runs into the boxes?
Sending it across this time is Belmar. Looked for the cross, but Berry unable to get on the receiving end. But what a beautiful touch by Belmar to put himself alone behind the defense. Let's take another look at that. That is a big-time touch. And look at him streaking behind the defense. Thought he was going to cross it here. Instead, cuts back to his left and just didn't get much on that ball sent across.
Yeah, when he took that look, there was 4 or 5 St. Louis players in the box already and couldn't find the option. So that's why I think he cut it back. And when he crossed it, there just wasn't enough pace on the cross to get to the far post. And the keeper picked it up easy. But we've now seen 2 plays where they've got round the back of St. Louis and caused some problems. They need to do that more.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. You can also receive free shipping on orders over $50. Ball switched to the near sideline. Rangers applying pressure. They need to get this ball back and need to find a way to get that equalizer if they're going to get a result here today in front of the home fans. Lots of space for Kuzain. Now Akhmetov for the home side. Belmar has been wreaking havoc here early in the second half. Can he do it again? Yes, into the box. Carlton Belmar sending it across. Was looking for Kyrie Shelton, but cut out by the defense. Shelton, though, able to win it back. Hernandez had a chance there, unable to hold it. Now Kuzain thought about a long-range shot, playing it back now to Akhmetov. Ball sent across. It's Rebellion. Left-footed strike. Knocks off the defender's chest.
Run away! Run away! Get off him with him!
Cidic needs to be careful here. 1v1 depending, but a nice job there by the center back.
Great defending there by Cidic. So we got a lot of pressure here coming from Swope Park Rangers. Now here's the last shot. Wanted to get it to that sweet left, and he hit it well straight into the chest of the defender. And we saw again, oh, that's a great ball. Oh, it's not going to stay in bounds. But we saw with Carlton Belmar, when he gets outside one-on-one, the fullback cannot stay with him pace-wise. So all he did last time was knock it 15 yards and outrun the guy. And then you've just got to get bodies in the box to see if you can get a finish. But that's 2 or 3 times in the last 2 or 3 minutes we've seen him get behind the backs. He's feeling it a bit. You can see him bent over and he's probably a little tired, but they need to continue to do that.
And I would think this is where the heat's really starting to add up. I mean, Belmar's had 3 lung-busting runs already here in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and he is on that half of the field that's in pure sunshine. And again, 90 degrees here, heat index right around 95, so it's not really a pleasant day to be sprinting around the field. And Carlton Belmar's put in a lot of work here early in the second half. Eric Dick in a similar position in the first half, had a major miscue, able to get rid of the ball with no problem here, but Hernandez turns it over. Nice defense by Parker Marr there. Chance here for the visitors in the box. Ball sent across, cleared out by Cidic. Looks like we're going to have our first substitution of the match coming up at the next dead ball. Joey Calistri set to check in place of Audi Jepson. Calistri 4 goals and 2 assists on the season. So even though we question the St. Louis starting lineup, Doug, they do have lots of ammo on the bench, and one of those subs is going to be coming up here momentarily. Here's Belmar again. Setting up his right foot again. Belmar sends it across. It's going to deflect out for a corner kick. As the substitution will become official, here comes Calistri into the match. Audi Jepson had kind of a quiet first half. He will be exiting for St. Louis FC.
Yeah, and you're right. When you look at the bench of St. Louis, you know, Calistri scored 4 goals. If they want more goals, they can go to Kyle Gregg, who's the top goal scorer. If they want to tighten up on defense, they've got Fanuel Kavita back there too. So they've got options on the bench that could really, really help them in this last 30-odd minutes.
It's going to be a corner kick now for the home side. Line drive towards the top of the box. Found the foot of Barry, but now cleared out by the defense. I don't know, Doug. I feel like there's still more goals to come in this game. Saw 3 in the first half, and the Rangers have all sorts of talent up front and have a huge, huge motivation to find the equalizer in this game. Belmar thought he was fouled there. No call was given. Parker Marr defending. We saw this a lot in the first half. Ball sent across, cleared out by Graham Smith. A corner kick for St. Louis FC. This game started off with a Haji Berry goal in the 21st minute. It seemed like this could potentially become a laugher for the home side, as St. Louis really didn't look dangerous at all. And Swope Park Rangers had their chances to make this 2-0. But instead it was St. Louis FC who equalized off the unforced error by goalkeeper Eric Dick and then got the go-ahead goal right before halftime. Now they look for what could be the nail in the coffin as we near the hour mark. Left-footed in-swinger. Not very well struck, did not even get to the 6-yard box. Be a throw-in for the visitors. We have a substitution now coming for the home side. Felipe Hernandez coming out. A little bit of a surprising move as he's been a pretty big playmaker for this squad this year. Chase Minter is going to check into the lineup. That being said, Hernandez didn't do a ton in the first half of this game.
No, he had an average game for his performances for the year. He was average today. He gave the ball up far too much, which he normally does not do.
Oh, and St. Louis has done it. That could be the nail in the coffin as the ball just trickles through the box, finds the foot of one of the St. Louis strikers, and he calmly puts it past goalkeeper Eric Dick. St. Louis has a 3-1 lead.
That's Calistri, who just came off the bench. There's his 5th goal of the season. And that, well, you know what it's going to do? It's going to open up the game for Swope. They're going to have to go chase this game now. It's a beautiful little flick by Wall, and first man to the ball. Yep, he got there first, and it was a fairly easy finish. And 2 defenders just not up with him. And he had a couple yards on both those defenders. So that's got to be disappointing with the defending there. But basically just a loose ball in the box that Calistri decided to get to first, and a tap in from 6 yards out.
You know, it's funny when the back heel works. It's one of the prettiest things you can see, but it's also a pretty lucky play sometimes. And it just so happened that the back heel was put into an absolutely perfect spot, and it ends up being an easy goal for St. Louis. And maybe we'll see how this plays out, but that may be the one that really decides this one, is Swope Park Rangers pushing for the equalizer. But now they're going to need 2 goals against the St. Louis team that's going to be having a lot of white jerseys backed by their own goal defending.
Yeah, you know, and it is a lucky where the ball lands, but that's why you do the flick, because you're basically trying to get some change of direction on the ball, and you're hoping that wherever it lands, you have a player, and it landed in the correct player for spot for St. Louis, and Calistri just put it away easily. So while it was a fluke, that's why you do that. It's just a gamble, and they got lucky for where it landed, but give him credit, he finished 2.
Nice flick by Belmar. Ball stays in bounds. Now what can the Rangers do with it? Nice move around the defense. Taken down at the edge of the box. The referee's running over, trying to see where that happened. It's going to be just outside the box, but very close. As Chase Minter just checked into the game, was taken down, an obvious foul.
Great foot skills, and he kept it in bounds and just got hit from behind. It's definitely outside the box. Definite foul.
Definitely not a penalty. You're right, though. Right outside the box. But for the home side, this is a great chance to pull back into this match. Don't know what Herzog's arguing there. Definitely a foul. And now the Rangers with some great height in the box. Belmar, Berry, Shelton, Smith, Jedich. There's a lot of height there. If they can get some good service on this one, they could be right back in this match. It's going to be Minter to take it, just subbed into the match. Just chipping it up, looking for the height. Shelton hits it, but his shot is blocked. Oh, and now it's a bad giveaway here. That was Rebellion. Minter now in chase. Ball just ping-ponging around. It'll be controlled by the home side. So let's take another look. I think the strategy here was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a great effort, unfortunately. And good defending there by St. Louis, because he just threw his body at it. And that was a great strike by Shelton. Unfortunately, like I said, the St. Louis guy just got in the way.
Still lots of time left in this game, and with the Rangers' offensive weapons on the field, still see a scenario where they could get their way back into this match, but would love to have a goal if you're a fan of the home side here in the next 10-15 minutes to really feel like you got a realistic chance.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to get on the board soon and then fight for that third one. But, you know, there's plenty of time left. There'll be plenty more chances. It's just how clinical the chances are. Are they going to take them? Or, you know, is the goalkeeper going to step up and play a great game? It's a tough finish here, but they can do it. And here's an opportunity here for Shelton.
Somehow keeping the ball, dribbling through a bunch of defenders. Minter now back to his left foot. Down to the far sideline. Rebellion going to put in a cross. Ball deflects off the chest. Falls to Shelton. Unable to get his shot off, but Minter gets his shot off, and it rolls wide of goal.
Yeah, that ball just wouldn't drop quick enough for Shelton. He was getting ready just to volley it and maybe get it on target, but it just wouldn't come down to his foot quick enough. Took a little ricochet, and look at it. He's waiting for it, but just not down quick enough. And then the second shot completely mishits. Doesn't miss by much, but didn't hit it clean.
The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. Lots of pressure going to be applied here. Here's Minter in the goalie's face, forcing a turnover. I think that's going to be a theme here the last 30 minutes. The Rangers are really going to have to push up on defense.
There was a difference between the goalkeeper. Then when the ball was played back to the keeper, he had already made his decision where he was going to set it, so he'd have a quick second touch. Unfortunately, earlier on, we saw the Swope Park Ranger goalkeeper get the ball and hesitate, and that's where he got caught.
Ball stays in, despite some shouts from the St. Louis sideline. Here's Haji Berry. Good defending, though, by St. Louis.
He never quit, and he was beaten, well beaten, but he never quit, kept fighting back. Berry cuts it back, and then Berry pulls him down, though. There's a few arms in that there, but, you know, that's the game of soccer. Good defending there. I think that's Walls again, who got the second goal for him, and defending strong for him, too. Having a good game.
Kind of let himself be taken down there, it looked like.
Yeah, he flopped. He went down a little easy, but, you know what? I'm sure he's a little tired after all that work, too.
Gomez boots it forward. Space for Belmar, who's been really good here in the second half. Second defender, though, back for St. Louis to slow down his charge. Akhmatov to the near side and kept in play by Parker Marr. Again, St. Louis would love to see Swope Park Rangers doing this, just side-to-side passing along the back line.
Yeah, and it's okay if they do that. They've just got to do it quicker, and then if they keep the ball moving quick, the gaps will occur, and then they've got to penetrate quick. But, yeah, just knocking it back and forth in front of them, absolute no danger to St. Louis. If they keep it moving, they're looking for that gap to penetrate so they get in behind again.
Give and go attempt there by Shelton, but him and Barry not on the same page. And I was going to ask you that, Doug. So when you're talking about St. Louis now, lots of guys back defending, is that kind of the key for the Rangers? If we're not talking about a breakaway situation, if we're talking about St. Louis sort of set up defensively, is it just quick passing, quick movement? Is that the way they're going to break down this defense?
Yeah, you're going to have to move the ball quick, and you're going to have to move off the ball. So there's going to have to be, you know, runs made from the inside to the outside, from the outside to the inside. You've got to stretch the defense, and you've got to make them think. And when you stretch them and they have to make decisions, that's when certain gaps open up, and then can you take advantage of those gaps. But just knocking the ball back and forth while the ball's in front of him isn't going to cause any problems.
Nice idea for Minter, but it's cut out by the St. Louis defense. It'll be a throw in here in the attacking third for the home side.
Certainly going to be harder for them to get in behind in this situation. Like you said, there's going to be no breakaways. You had some of those first half, but St. Louis will be back in that formation, and you're not going to get too many balls over the top, and it's a one-on-one with the keeper. So a lot of patience is going to be needed here by Swope Park Rangers. Good passing and good movement off the ball.
You can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 season and stay up to date with news from across the USL at the league's official Facebook page. It's facebook.com/USL Soccer. Minter now moving forward, playing it back to Shelton. Shelton, I think, looking for Belmar. The option is not there. Able to keep it now. Shelton sends it across, but no one there. Gomez quickly off his line to snag it.
Yeah, not a bad idea, but unfortunately too close to the keeper. Keeper did well to get his hands on it and to hold on to it, but needed to come back maybe an extra yard and a half. And then if it does go that far back, I don't think the keeper's coming to get it, and maybe it's getting through to Berry, but unfortunately the ball not in the correct position there, but a tough ball to play into.
The other end, Rebayam earns the foul. Quickly to Kuzain. Now Smith back to Rebayam. St. Louis applying a little pressure here for the first time in the second half. Maybe not as content just to let the Rangers have it, at least not momentarily.
They definitely don't want to sit back too much and give them the ball completely for the next 20-odd minutes.
Nice ball behind the defense. It's Haji Berry. He's been red hot. Can he pull Swope Park back into this game? Tried to get it on his left foot. He's calling for a corner kick. The referee wasn't looking. And he calls it a goal kick at the end of the day.
Referee's not very happy with one of the St. Louis players. I don't know if he ran into the back of him or something, but he missed it, because I think that was a corner. Oh, no, that's a goal kick. It came off Barry's shin last, I think.
Boy, that was really close, wasn't it? Yeah. And like you said, the referee was giving one of the St. Louis players a talking to. Barry was calling for the corner kick. It took about 10 seconds for the referee to actually say what's going on, and he says it's a goal kick.
Yeah, he was having a word with Lewis Hilton, so I'm not sure what Hilton said to him or what he did to him, but the referee was not very happy with him.
The referee there also warning the goalkeeper, Tomas Gomez, about time wasting, so if that continues, he may see a card at some point here in the last 20 minutes or so.
I'm sure you're going to see plenty more of that with the goalkeeper, with throw-ins, with free kicks. He'll be in no rush to get that ball in play.
Cox now with it for St. Louis.
That's a
nice
great
idea.
Ball.
What a ball. And this could be the nail in the coffin, but Dick makes the save.
That's a fantastic ball there.
Give credit to Eric Dick. He had a major mistake in the first half that let St. Louis back into this match, but a big play there that keeps the Rangers' hopes alive on that save.
Ball from Cox to Calistri. Could have been Calistri's second goal in maybe 10 minutes? But a fantastic save by Dick. Did very well coming out to it.
Shelton, nice first touch. Look at the speed and strength of Kyrie Shelton, able to keep the ball. Now a chance here for the Rangers. Back to the middle for Minter. He's got Berry making a run. There's Haji Berry. This attack is slowed down for the Rangers. Thought they might get a chance there. Now Rebayam dribbling at the defender, sending it across. Shelton is there but misses it with his header attempt. And a foul is called on the Rangers forward. They've had a clash of heads there. Got some words with Kyrie Shelton and Tomas Gomez. Let's take another look here, Doug.
It's a good ball in, hung up in the air, and they're both going for the ball, so there's nothing. Maybe, I'm not sure if he caught his head or whether he landed on his head. I'm not sure.
Have another water break here as the St. Louis defender attempts to recover from that. Let's take another look at the goal here in the second half that's really given us a little bit of distance between these two teams. It was 2-1 at the intermission. And look at this. It seems easy enough just to throw in, but a perfect back heel. Finds the right spot, and it's a tap in there for St. Louis FC and Joey Calistri, his 5th goal of the season. And much like we saw with the header at the end of the first half, St. Louis the quickest to the loose ball, and they get an easy goal for the second time this game.
Yeah, he got there first and finished it. And the only way that probably could have prevented is on the throw-in. Maybe Swope Park Rangers could have sat the defender in front of Wall to not allow him to get the ball. But he had a free ball coming straight at him and just flicked it. And like you said, Calistri got there first, and easy finish. And, you know, it'd be a disappointment. 3 goals, I know that Swope Park Rangers will probably be very disappointed they gave up.
Yeah, Swope Park Rangers came into this game having won 4 straight, and the last 2 were shutout victories. And obviously that streak came to an end today. with about 20 minutes left in this match and the players gathering, getting some water, getting some fuel. What do you think Coach Paulo Nagamura is saying, and maybe any tweaks he may be able to make here strategically in the last 20 minutes?
Well, they've got to keep, I mean, they're doing right now the high tempo, but, we just saw a breakaway for them. And that breakaway, instead of remaining a 3 against 4, ended up being a 4 against 7 or 8 because they slowed down the attack and let numbers get back. And so they've got to push the tempo and they've got to be intense. And they've still got that option of Tyler Blackwood on the bench, whether it's to relieve one of the 3 forwards or whether it's maybe to shove him up front and go with 4 up front and take a risk, because they're going to want to get something out of this. Losing 3-1 or 3-2 doesn't do you any good. They've got to go for it at some point.
Coach Anthony Pulis there, even though his team's up 3-1, he doesn't seem very happy with something going on right now. It looks like St. Louis maybe going to make a substitution, and maybe he wanted to get that to have that take place before this goal kick. But
that's the guy that got injured. So he came off because he got injured, and then they wave him on, which, you just had a water break. You might as well just, as soon as they start the game, just bring him on. So I can understand a little bit of frustration, but rules are rules,
Sam Fink, who was down on that header attempt by Kyrie Shelton a minute ago. He wears the captain's armband for St. Louis. Now Paulo Nagamura a little frustrated as well. Time wasting by St. Louis FC. Rangers are going to need to move quickly. They have a 2-goal deficit to make up here in the last 20 minutes or so. Fans, you can stay up to date. All the best from social media around the USL by watching Off the Post with Kelsey Steele every Friday. Check it out in the evenings on the USL's social media channels. It's Off the Post with Kelsey Steele.
Here's your opportunity now. You've got to, you had an opportunity to take him on early, slowed it down, and then got a covering defender back, so he's going 1 against 2. You get those opportunities, the one-on-ones out on the flanks, get them done quick, go run at them and get in behind and see if you can create some opportunity for the offense.
Berry has it, but far away from the goal, which is not where the Rangers want him to get possession. Here's Belmar on the edge of the box. Belmar tried to tee up a shot, unable to do so. Now playing it back to Rebellion. Good ball sent across into the middle. Big collision. Minter goes down. No foul is given. That looked like that could have been a penalty kick. A huge collision there in the box. No foul is given, though. Smith able to get back defensively, and you can see Minter there rubbing his head. It was a dangerous ball played across by Rebellion. Let's take another look here.
It's a great ball in. Let's see what happened in that.
Defender cleared it out, but it looked like he also made contact with Minter on his follow-through.
Yeah, Minter's got to go for that, and Walls has got to go for it too. I don't think there's any intentional foul or anything, and Minter may have got a slight kick in the head there. But he's all right. He's going to continue. Everything just becomes slower and slower for St. Louis now.
That being said, they have the ball here on the edge of the box, and chance deflects off a defender for the Rangers and nearly found the back of the net.
Well, he's definitely made a difference as Calistri. He's scored the goal. He was just stopped recently for a second attempt, and there's his third attempt. Took a slight deflection, but just hits the post. So the boy could have scored 3 goals in, I don't know how long he's been, maybe 15 minutes.
I think Eric Dick had that covered, but the deflection took a wicked spin on it. And like you said, hit off the woodwork.
That's the beauty of St. Louis right now. On their bench, they're bringing in players that are normal starters. And so impact players like Calistri are coming into the game late.
Oh, and Eric Dick drops it. Possession, though, go back to the home side. Nearly another major error, though, by the Rangers goalkeeper.
He was a little lucky there that bounced and hit the arm of a St. Louis player. That could have been his second blunder of the night. So Blackwood's on. I'm not sure who just came off. Did you see?
Akhmatov comes off.
Okay.
So Blackwood comes on. Definitely a goal-scoring threat for the home side in desperate need of a goal at this late juncture. How do you think that affects the formation? Do you think we may see 4 up top?
Well, yeah, I mean, if the way they're standing right now, I would say they've either gone back to a 4-4-2 or it's kind of like a 4-2-4, or we'll see how it's forming. But they're going to be attacking with numbers now for sure. There's no question about that. You're going to see Kiri Shelton and Blackwood working together central with Barry and Belmar out on the flanks. So call it what you like, you're going to end up seeing 4 forwards attacking.
Minter dispossessed right near the midfield stripe. Again, some frustration looking to be setting in for the home side, and this could get chippy here down the home stretch. We saw a little bit of that earlier in the match. As the Rangers push for trying to get back in with a second goal of the match here, we'll see how this plays out. I know certainly seeing signs of frustration out there for the home side. Herzog was going to make a run and now maybe cramping up. You can see there, it looked like he was going to have a chance behind the defense, and instead he just stopped in his tracks.
Yeah, I thought he stopped because he knew he was offside, but it looks like he stopped because of the cramps.
I know a lot of time you wonder about time wasting and things like that, but pretty sure this is legitimate because he stopped running in the middle of a breakaway opportunity, which you would never do that even as a time wasting move. I was going to try to get up, but as we mentioned, if you're just tuning in, it's hot out there. It's about 90 degrees, heat index around 95, so we've seen water breaks in each half, and certainly not a shock to see players cramping up here late in the game.
He's going to have to leave the field. And he's going to get a yellow because he just said something.
Certainly taking his time as well. Yeah, probably a little bit of a dissent there, and referee Rosendo Mendoza shows him the yellow card.
Well, the rule is, I believe, if the trainer comes on to see you, which he did, then you have to leave the field and you'll get waved on the next play. During the play, you don't have to wait for a stoppage, but that is the rule, and I think he disagreed with the rule, said something nasty, and got a yellow for it.
See him talking to the fourth official on the sideline. Certainly not an envious job. I wouldn't want to be the fourth official. That seems like you're hearing him from both coaches. There he's hearing it for Herzog, who walks off the field. I don't think that guy gets a lot of friendly comments there. Now holding Herzog off for at least a second. Herzog's like, what's up, man? I want to get back onto the field. And
this is what Pulis got mad at last time because they held him for about 20 seconds.
Herzog is back on now off the screen. Coming back on right by Shelton.
Like I said, he said something to the ref. Maybe the ref kept him out a little longer because he didn't like what he said.
Nice ball across there. Again, there. Barry sending it into Shelton. He rises but unable to get his head on it. Now Belmar's shot deflects. Nice first touch by Belmar. But good defense there by St. Louis FC.
Solid defending by Walls again. Good slide tackle came off Belmar. And it ends up being a St. Louis throw.
Fans, you can get an inside look at life on and off the field from a player's perspective every Wednesday evening in the latest edition of From the Pitch. Check it out Wednesday evenings on USLsoccer.com. Ball bouncing around, Kuzain trying to win it, now cleared out by the St. Louis defense, all the way back to the goalkeeper, Eric Dick. Again, time is of the essence for the Swope Park Rangers. Only about 9 minutes plus stoppage time left in this match, and there's probably not going to be a ton of stoppage time, although we did have a 2-minute water break. We just saw a minute or so with the cramping for Herzog.
I guess I missed it, but Kyle Gregg, who's on the ball right now, I don't remember him coming into sub, but he must have come on. And there it is. He's just scored his, 13th goal, or was it 14th?
Yep, 13 for Kyle Gregg. And if this game was in doubt, it is no longer in doubt. His 13th of the year. Visiting fans from St. Louis celebrate as they take a 4-1 lead here at Children's Mercy Park.
Like I said, I'm not sure when he subbed on, but this is his first touch in the game. And he's fresh, he's strong, and boy, can he finish. And that's, we talked about earlier, if you look at the bench of St. Louis, we questioned the starting lineup because a lot of the start was on the bench, but he's been able to use his bench with Greg and Calistri, and they've come on and they've made a difference in this game. So maybe he was smarter than we thought he was going to be as a coach, because we questioned the lineup, but he's definitely taking care of business today, that's for sure.
Well, we talked about how Swope Park has struggled in this young rivalry going into today, 1, 2, and 4. And it's going to be another loss in this rivalry for Swope Park, barring just a miracle comeback here, as they're down by 3 goals with about 8 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Again, right now it's just a numbers game for the Rangers. Plenty of talent on the front line, but now you're looking at a, 4 versus 7 sort of situation. As they try to dribble in near the box, and there's just a sea of white jerseys. Foul is called on the Rangers' defense.
Well, this is just definitely going to change the look of the standings in the league. And St. Louis is now going to be tied with Swope Park Rangers with 46 points. The biggest difference there is Swope Park Rangers has a goal difference of -7. St. Louis right now has a goal difference of +7. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that at the end of the season for that 7th or 8th spot.
We mentioned going into today, the Rangers felt like they were in a much better playoff position, not just being, get back to that in a minute. Sharp turns the near post, is scored. And if there's going to be a miraculous comeback, it starts with that. Blackwood off the bench gets the goal. And Swope Park maybe a little bit of life here. 84th minute, and they pull within 2 goals. Blackwood, nice job to set up his right foot and beating the goalie at the near post. Pretty surprising there.
Yeah, a couple things. First, when that ball went over the top walls, for some reason hesitated, not sure why. Gave Blackwood the extra yard. He cuts back inside and beats the goalkeeper, which we just said a couple of minutes ago shouldn't be beaten at the near post. So a couple of errors, maybe lack of concentration there for St. Louis. Up 4-1, probably thought, this game's over with. It's 4-2, and there's still a little bit of time left. So if Swope Park Rangers can score one quickly, maybe we could have a hairy, scary last few minutes.
Well, and credit to the Rangers for not to say they're going to quit out there, but for continuing to fight on a 90-degree day, down 3 goals very late. Credit to them for continuing to fight and getting that goal. And like you said, if they can get one here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, could set up a very exciting conclusion to this match.
We've had a few subs score some goals today. Calistri, Greg, and now Blackwood have actually come on the field and contribute and make a big difference for both teams.
So 4-2 scoreline. St. Louis leads. 86th minute here at Children's Mercy Park. And the home side Swope Park Rangers have won 4 straight games. I can't see a scenario where they'd be looking at winning this game, but perhaps they could claw back and get a tie if they can get a quick goal here. About 4 minutes left plus stoppage time. Ball is lobbed forward into the box. Lots of targets. Goalkeeper Gomez claims it calmly.
Yeah, it's keeper's ball every time. Too much air in the air, too close to him. Keeper should come out and collect that every time, and he did well.
Mirjitic was the closest player for the Swope Park Rangers, and he is slowly limping back up the field. Nowhere near his center defense position. He may have to come out of this match. Looks like he's in a lot of pain, kind of grabbing that hip area.
Comes another sub for St. Louis.
Wallfall will exit this match. Kyle Culbertson comes in for the visitors.
And again, another player that was, we thought he would be in the starting lineup. And so they've been able to sub 3 starters, which is very good for them today.
Here's Cheetich with the ball again, not really moving too well. It looks like he's going to stay in, at least for the moment. The Rangers have a moment of magic left in them to really make this interesting down the stretch. That's not going to do it. But possession will stay with the home side. Dave Borchard alongside Doug McCloggin. Thanks so much for tuning in here on ESPN+. Big foul there, and again, it's 4-2 if you're just tuning in. 88th minute, almost the 89th minute here at Children's Mercy Park. You see Decker there, recently subbed into this match as well. Chance here for the Rangers. Pretty good spot for a free kick here in the dying moments.
Well, if they're going to do it, they need to do it now. That's for sure. Minter probably just needs to whip this in-swinger into the box, and hopefully someone can get on it and score and give us a couple, 2-3 minutes of interest here where they might be able to pull a point out of this.
We've talked about it. Lots of big targets for the home side here. Minter puts it in towards the back post. It's going to be headed back across. No, sent across by Graham Smith, but his shot goes high.
Yeah, he did well getting on the end of that, but hit the ball so hard it hit the moon and back. He probably could have maybe played it across the face of the goal, but good to get onto it.
How well do you know the USL? You can test your knowledge in USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition every week. You can win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. Check it out at USLsoccer.com. Approaching stoppage time here at Children's Mercy Park, and the visitors from St. Louis FC position to get a huge win that would propel them up in the Western Conference standings. Entered this game in 8th place in the final playoff position. They would move all the way up to 6th. They can hang on for the win here today.
That could make it interesting, because if San Antonio wins their game in hand, we could have 3 teams sitting on 46 points. And like I said a minute ago, the goal difference could be the massive thing there, because Swope's -7. Well, -6 now, I think. St. Louis is +7. And San Antonio would be at least -3 if they were to win their game too. So it's going to be really interesting this last 4 games. And the good thing about it is San Antonio plays both these teams in the next week.
Starting with Swope Park Rangers hosting San Antonio Wednesday night here at Children's Mercy Park. And San Antonio in 7th place as we speak. Will be in 8th place if Swope Park loses this game and St. Louis wins. Lots of bodies forward now for the Rangers to Barry. Probably should have tried a first-time shot. Instead, he tries dribbling through the defense, and it's poked away. It will be a corner kick, though, for the home side.
Yeah, you're right. I think he could have hit it first time, but if he didn't hit it first time, then his touch had to be better than it was. That was a beautiful ball by Minter. Either first time or a tighter touch.
Corner kick comes in. It's cleared away easily. Now the Rangers reassessing. Ball sent forward into the box. It's going to be headed out for another corner kick. And again, the Rangers really need to hurry here. We're into stoppage time. Be a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time added on here. Back heel goes harmlessly over the end line. It'll be a goal kick. Referee looking at Gomez, the goalkeeper, just moving the ball around, wasting some time here. Referee with the whistle.
So you can score 2 goals in 5 minutes, I know that, but they're going to have to get one really quick.
Well, this could be another chance for St. Louis. Fortunate flick there by Rebellion, or that could have been a one-on-one against the keeper, and Eric Dick off his line to send it over the sideline. Foul is called against St. Louis. Rangers really need to hurry here. Going to be Graham Smith, the rookie. Now he's going to defer to his goalkeeper, Eric Dick, now to send it forward. We have about 3 minutes left in this one.
Looked a little offside for me there. I was expecting to see the flag go up, but apparently not.
Ball goes back to the Rangers, looking to move quickly here, and they need to. Decker quickly through the defense. Foul in the center of the park. That'll be a yellow card.
I think that's what's known as a professional foul. He knew he was beaten, and he knew if he fouled, it'd slow the play down, get players behind the ball. So he took the yellow, and no complaints, knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, that is a smart tactical foul right there, even if he earns the yellow. Because now the Rangers starting from scratch here. Parker Marr. Ball's to Decker, and what a shot at the corner of the net! Unbelievable!
What a goal! Holy Moses! That boy's looked good since he's come on the field, but that was an immaculate finish.
That'll be up for USL Goal of the Week for sure, and now a chance for the home side with about 2 minutes left here. Unbelievable strike by the second half substitute. Look at this, the ball just kind of ping-pongs around, falls right to him, and first time puts it in the far corner, side netting.
That's a tremendous finish because, like you said, the ball just came to him all of a sudden, and it's right between his feet, and he immediately just picked his spot and bent it in there. That's an unbelievable finish, and hey, 2 minutes of excitement here. Let's go.
As a reminder, a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time, so at least 1 minute left in this match, maybe a little more thanks to the goal a moment ago.
Smith and Diedic looking at each other and say, which one of you is going to go? And Diedic is the one that's moved forward.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're a St. Louis fan, this would be absolutely devastating if the Rangers were going to pull this off and find an equalizer here in the last minute or two of the match. Yeah. Rebellion's going to take a long throw in here, puts it into the box. Ball bouncing around in the box. It's headed, but headed out by St. Louis. Ball still loose in the attacking third. Here's Parker Marr. His chip is cut out, though. And now St. Louis with a chance the other way, a 2v2 if they decide to pursue it.
He's going to the corner flag. That's where he's going. One place in mind, and he's going to keep it down there.
Two defenders in pursuit for the home side. The foul is given, and that may be all she wrote here. Furious comeback attempt by Swope Park Rangers, but it may fall short. See some words there with Kyrie Shelton as well. We wondered if this game might get chippy at the end, but like I said, it looks like it'll be too little too late for the home side.
Yeah, he's not happy that Martz went down easy there, but you got to credit Martz. He went 60 yards, he went straight to corner flag, and that's the end of the game right there.
The referee blows the whistle, and that is it. The Swope Park Rangers, give them credit for the fight till the end. They mount a furious comeback, but St. Louis FC holds on for a huge win, 4-3. And that means a lot for St. Louis and their playoff chances, Doug.
Yeah, it really does. That propels them above Swope Park Rangers. And like you said, I think that puts them into 6th spot, I believe. So it's going to get interesting. 4 games left, and it's going to get really interesting.
For St. Louis, 4 games left, and they have 3 of those 4 at home. They probably came in a little bit worried about their playoff chances with a makeshift lineup today against a red-hot Swope Park Rangers team. But they get a big win, and now they go home with 3 of their last 4 in St. Louis. For the Rangers, their 4-game winning streak comes to a close here, but still in a pretty good playoff spot with 46 points on the season. All right, let's take a timeout. We will come back and wrap things up. What a crazy game. 7 goals combined, but the visitors for St. Louis FC continue to control this rivalry. They get a 4-3 win today at Children's Mercy Park. We'll be back with the postgame show. You are watching USL Soccer here on ESPN+. St. Louis FC players celebrating with their fans here at Children's Mercy Park, and it's a huge win today for the visitors and a bit of an upset as St. Louis victorious 4-3 over Swope Park Rangers and give a big boost to their playoff positioning as they get the full 3 points today in what was a wild game. 7 total goals scored. St. Louis was up, despite getting down 1-0 in this game, they were also up 4-1 at one point before a furious Swope Park Rangers rally comes up short. Let's take a look at today's final stats and kind of plays out the picture, Doug. Pretty even game and lots of chances for both teams.
Yeah, it was an even game. You said there was going to be goals coming, and we said there was going to be lots of chances, and St. Louis took the chances more than Swope did. But a very entertaining game, and you always love when you get 7 goals in a game.
Oh, my gosh. And it wasn't like a lot of bad goalkeeping either. Eric Dick made a mistake in the first half, but it wasn't a lot of bad goalkeeping in this game. It was a lot of good offensive players putting the ball in the back of the net. At the end of the day, St. Louis FC, too much to handle as Swope Park Rangers' winning streak comes to an end. For the home side, though, a very exciting moment early on as Haji Berry scored a goal for his 6th straight game, tied the all-time USL record with Dane Kelly, who had scored in 6 straight games. We'll see if Haji Berry can hold the record alone. He'll go for his goal in 7 straight games Wednesday against San Antonio FC. St. Louis, though, pulls the upset today, and they continue their dominance in this cross-state rivalry. 4-3 over the Swope Park Rangers. Thanks so much to the guys in the truck doing a great job producing the show today. For Doug McClogan, I'm Dave Borchert saying so long. St. Louis FC wins 4-3.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.